Here is what my greens look like. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to try this. Ooh. What's up, you guys? Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Asia Marie. Today on Asia Marie TV, we will be tuned into the cooking channel. Get it? Asia Marie TV cooking channel. Anyway, as you can see from the title, we will be making my Southern style collard greens. So I did make these collard greens for Thanksgiving. I actually recorded a small reel and posted it on Instagram, and I surpassed 130,000 views on Instagram, which is shocking, but a lot of people requested for me to do a full video. Okay, so if you guys would like to see how I make my Southern collard greens, then please keep watching. Okay, starting with ingredients, obviously you will need collard greens. I usually use about 7 bunches, but this time I have 8 because the leaves this time look a little smaller and the bunches are a little smaller than last time. About 7 or 8 bunches is good. 1 onion, 1 garlic. Chicken broth, I like to use fat-free. All of your seasonings, I use Italian seasoning, cayenne pepper, Cajun seasoning, paprika, red pepper flakes, garlic and onion powder, and also black pepper. Chicken bouillon, your main ingredient, which is brown sugar. This is what makes your collard greens taste good, okay? So please, if you don't add anything else, be sure to have brown sugar. Your choice of meat. So personally, I like to use 1 smoked turkey leg, and per request of my mother, I also use smoked ham hocks and pickled pigtails. I know some people like to add bacon, so you can do whatever you choose, but this is just what I like in my greens. Okay, so before we get started, I like to sharpen my knife. My eyes are really sensitive to onions, so if I start crying, don't laugh at me. I cut my onion into tiny pieces only because your onions will cook down in your greens, so you don't want to cut them too small. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but good enough. And then cut your garlic. I've actually been making these greens for a few years now. In the past, I feel like my elders made me believe that making greens were extremely hard, and it's not that hard. I mean, greens pretty much cook themselves. The hardest thing about greens is washing them, which we will get into. Okay, so just take your garlic and roughly chop. Now that's done, I'm going to wash my hands and then we're going to move over to the stove. Okay, so moving on to the stove, I like to start with cooking my smoked turkey leg. Now, if you aren't using turkey legs for your Southern style collard greens, then you can honestly skip this step and start washing your greens. But because I'm using a turkey leg, I like to start cooking this first. So starting out with a large pot. Now honestly, you can use a bigger pot than this because when you put all of your collard greens in, it takes up a lot of space, but I love this pot. I'm comfortable with it, so this is what I'm using. Turn your fire on to medium high. I like to add a little olive oil to the bottom. You can use butter if you'd like, but I like to keep my collard greens as healthy as possible. So now my pot is hot enough. I'm going to add all of my garlic and all of my onions. So I like to let them caramelize for a good 3 to 4 minutes. Then I will pour in my chicken broth. So now I'm going to add my turkey leg to my pot, and then add the entire container of chicken broth. I'm going to turn my fire down to medium. Let this cook for an hour or until tender. So now we're going to move on to the hard part. While my turkey leg is cooking, we're gonna wash our greens. I do like to have multiple pans or bowls if you have them available. I take each leaf and rinse them front and back, and then just lay them in my pan or bowl and stack them up. So I repeat that for every bunch. As you can see, these leaves are pretty clean, straight out of the bunch. So it won't be that hard. Okay, so now I've rinsed about 4 bunches and my pan is full. So once my first pan get full, I like to fill it with water and let these leaves soak while I am rinsing the other bunches of collard greens, and then I come back and rinse them again. And so while that is filling up, I like to take another container, bowl, whatever you have. I did wash them twice. They are pretty clean, but I'm going to wash them 2 more times. But now I'm going to show you guys how I cut the stems. I have to cut them 1 leaf at a time, and I like to cut my stem midway through. So take a really sharp knife, cut down the stem on each side, and cut at a diagonal in the middle. Rip the stem and lay them as flat as possible, and I will tell you why in a second.
But repeat this step until all of your greens are cut.
So my turkey legs have about 20 minutes until it is ready for the greens. So I have my timer set for 1 hour for my turkey leg, but the turkey leg will continue to cook with my greens. I just do not want to overcook my turkey leg, which is why I time it. Okay, so once you have a good pile of your greens, I like to stack them, roll them up, and cut them into slices. So I will cut a few strips small and then a few of them thicker, but it's completely up to you. And then I just take this pile and throw it in the bowl, and I will wash these again while they're in strips. Okay, it has been 1 hour since my turkey leg started cooking. Now, if all of your greens will not fit in the beginning, that's okay. You can add more once these cook down a little, but stuff as many as you can into your pot. You add 1 cube of chicken bouillon and all of your seasonings: paprika, Creole seasoning, garlic powder, onion powder, little Italian seasoning, cayenne pepper, a little red pepper flakes, and black pepper, and most importantly, brown sugar. Give this a gentle mix. As you can see, the greens at the bottom are starting to cook down just a little bit, and if you can add more of your greens until all of them are in your pot. It's been the first 20 minutes. So here's what my greens look like. They look really good. I like to gently stir my greens. I just grab them from the bottom and bring them to the top. And it looks like my turkey leg is ready, so I am going to start pulling the meat apart from the bone. So to do that, I just grab a fork, move your greens to the side. Here's my bone, and I bring it to the top. Look how that meat is falling off. That's what we want. And just gently shred. Whatever this is, if you find these, try to take them out as best as you can and just start shredding. And I do like to keep the skin in my pot as well. Remove this. And I like to leave my bone in just for flavor, and give my greens a taste and see if I need to add anything. I'm gonna add a little more Creole seasoning, more onion and garlic powder, a lot of paprika, a little bit of cayenne, and a little more red pepper flakes. I like my greens to have a balance of bitter, sweet, and a little spice. I'm going to give this one more gentle mix just so my seasoning can get into the juice. And I'm going to let these greens cook for a good 30 minutes. Then I will come back to mix and taste again. Okay, so now I am adding in my smoked ham hocks and my pickled pigtails. I really want my meat to soak down in the juice, and I also don't want my greens to overcook, which is why I like to bring my meat down to the bottom, especially my ham hocks. These ham hocks are really thick. I did pre-boil them beforehand, so they are cooked, but I do want to add the flavor into my greens. Bring them to the top and push your meat down to the bottom and into that juice like that. Okay, wait. Okay, so it's been a good 45 minutes. I'm going to taste them one last time just to make sure they're tasting perfect into my liking, and my greens are done. I like my greens to cook a good hour and a half or an hour and 45 minutes. If you like your greens really soft to the consistency of like spinach, then I would cook them a good 2 hours. I like my greens to have a little crunch, a little bite to them. They look perfect. Here's what they look like. They look so Your greens are almost cooked when your meat is falling off of your pigtail. Okay, you guys, moment of truth. Here is what my greens look like. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to try this. Ooh. Look how delish. Y'all see the smoke? Look at that. Look. And my little pigtail. Bon appetit. It's perfect. When I say perfect consistency, the flavor, a little bit of bitterness, because we're eating collard greens, okay? We know what comes with the territory. Collard greens are bitter. Slight bitter taste, a little bit of sweetness from the brown sugar, a little bit of spice, good seasoning from your Cajun seasoning, your black pepper, garlic, onion. Perfect. Juicy. We got great flavor from the chicken bouillon. Y'all have to try this. You don't have to cook this for a holiday, but be sure to cook this, okay? Making some mac and cheese, collard greens, cornbread. You got you a good soul food spread. Perfect. Pigtail falling apart. So good. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this video was helpful. If you guys try my collard green recipe, comment below and let me know how it turned out for you. Like this video if it was helpful. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.